Is everybody in? How many people today?
Okay, actually, through Zoom, right? Not many will join normally, but
so they will join in. It's not like it's broadcast on the.
oh, but no, Facebook we are broadcasting live. It's
on
live
Facebook.
now. Yes, it's live now. We are on
Oh,
live
now it's live. Okay.
Yes.
Don't simply talk.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I guess we can start now because it's 8 o'clock already.
All right.
Okay. Right. Sure. Okay. So hello everybody. It's your host here, Jaslyn. All right. So it's so happy to see you all again. So how have you all been? Okay, I hope you guys are doing great. Now, thank you very much for making time to join us tonight. All right, if you are new and just join us, we run this Facebook page called Shaping the Leaders of Tomorrow, where we provide information and conduct motivational talks to young people out there so that you are all shaped to be great leaders in the near future. All right, so follow our page and give us a like. Right. So today we are very honored to have our special guest, Mr. Rupert Chen. Okay, Mr. Rupert Chen, the one with the cap, the white cap now, all right, who is the founder of RC Coaching. So RC is actually basically from his name, Rupert Chen, RC, okay, to share with us on the topic, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, how you can strive to survive, all right, from the perspective of our very own Iron Man. Yes, he is an Ironman award winner. Okay, we will listen more from him, the founder himself, all right. So first of all, a little bit of background introduction. Okay, Rupert Chen is an Ironman ambassador and owns his very own coaching company, RC Coaching, right? They train many athletes from amateurs to professionals, and many of them end up being national level athletes. Just fresh from the World Championships, Rupert is the only Malaysian with all ALL World Athlete Gold, AWA, that is top 1% Ironman rank in the world. All right, Rupert will be sharing his experience and the right mindset one should possess to strive for success. You know, with the current pandemic, many are struggling to make ends meet. Some are demotivated and are lost and not knowing what to do. And many times they just want to give up. Okay, this can relate to Rupert's journey on how he became a world ranked Ironman. All right, so well, without wasting any more time, let's hear from him, the Ironman himself. Okay, Rupert, actually, before we really go into deep, okay, on your topic, okay, so please do give us some introduction about yourself. Why did you choose to be an Ironman? Because I remember the time when we met, okay, when I first known you, all right, which is I think around 12 years back. Actually, I've known Rupert for many years. Okay, I don't think you have any intention at all to become an Ironman. From my memories. Okay, so what made you choose to be Ironman, and was this your dream since you were young? Were you even an athlete when you were schooling? Please share with us. Okay, so let's welcome Mr. Rupert Chen.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Jaslyn, and Shaping the Leaders of Tomorrow for having me on this show. So very honored to be one of your guests for today. So okay, so as you asked about my background, is actually I am a mechanical engineer graduate. And I worked with Dr. Jaslyn before at Bridgestone. So that's how we get to know each other lah. So yes, for me to be part of this coaching and doing an Ironman, it wasn't a plan. There was never any plan. The plan was always for me to be like a very traditional path to study well, get a certificate, and then work as a professional. Right. So I did that in my 20s, but halfway through, I started to dabble with triathlon, more into sports, and then I start to really have passion about triathlon. Right. So I started out as just as a normal athlete, just training, just enjoying myself, and after that, the more.
How old were you then, actually, Rupert?
In my mid-20s, I would say. In my mid-20s, so already more than 10 years. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And then from there on, then I really enjoy it, and then I start to explore into more in depth into it. Of course, during my school days, I was already into sports. Yeah, I did taekwondo when I was my early age. After that, I was a school runner, so I did have the background for it. It wasn't like we started from zero, but then with that, when I was younger, then I understand what was needed to be successful in sports, right? The discipline, the determination, the consistency. And so then I dabbled more into the sports, and then I met more friends, I learned more, and I realized that in Malaysia it's a very underdeveloped sport, and that's why and with my passion for it, I decided to go more into it. And then after that, in the year 2012, I resigned from my job, and then I started to train really, really consistently for a couple of years. I gave myself a few years to really succeed in the sport, and I did pretty well. I qualified for the world champs twice already, and yeah, as Jaslyn mentioned, I had the AWA goal, and after that, I really, really like it. I wanted to share my knowledge with more of my friends. I started to coach my friends, uh, not officially, but just as something as a hobby, teaching, because sharing my knowledge is one of my passion. And after that, I got the opportunity to coach at Bukit Jalil, which is the national stadium. And from there on, I started coaching bigger and bigger groups. And then I decided to register a company and do it as a profession. Yeah.
So initially, you already have in mind to having, because Ironman, you have cycling, running, and also swimming, right? So in mind, you really have these three sports to be targeted, is it, or just maybe it just came along the way?
Initially I was just doing running, but I found that running only was a bit boring. So I said, hey, I want to try something more challenging, right? So I heard about the Ironman, and then I started to explore it. Then I realized there's so much more to learn, just to just learn besides just swim, bike, run. There's a lot of technicality behind the scene, right? And so yeah, if the sport can be very simple and it can be very complex. If you want to go into very in-depth into it, it can be very, very, very complex. It can go into the analysis side, the online program side, so much science behind it, actually, the nutrition part, the race strategy part. Yeah. And that, I think, as an engineer, that also piqued my interest, right? Because there's so much things to learn, yeah, to be able to improve, not just swim, bike, run, yeah, but on the bike side, on the shoe side, on the all the equipment side. Yeah.
I see, understand. Okay, because we know that, okay, we have a lot of young participants tonight, young audience tonight, and it's actually very difficult for them to have the correct mindset, not only in sports, I would say that even anything that they venture in life. So, okay, we are talking about sports, because sports, as you mentioned, exercising is one of the things that you need to have discipline, you have to have determination and consistency. But exercise is time consuming and needs a lot of energy. Okay, that's what I always hear what people say. Okay, the idea of it really makes them tired. Thinking about exercise is already tiring, so they don't even move their body to move towards it. So like for example, okay, at maths is difficult. We do in secondary school. Okay, I can't be possibly doing it, so they will just let it go. All right, so to get all these comments from people, right? Okay, they feel demotivated and all this idea. How you as a world level athlete, right, can actually help to change their mindset, not only in terms of course exercising, okay, or sports, but maybe something that they can incorporate into their daily life as well.
I think if you talk about this, that you want to put in the amount of work into to become some really, really good, you cannot force it, right? You need to have passion for it. If you are passionate about something, you are going to put in the effort, the time, the hard work to to get it. Of course, if an athlete, they don't have to be world-class athlete. 99% of people, they're never going to be world-class athlete. So of course, they have to have passion for it. Then you will work towards it. You cannot be forced into it like your parents are forcing you. You cannot sustain that if you don't have passion for it. So first, you have to really love what you're doing. Of course, even like sports, I'll talk about sports. Of course, a lot of people, when they think about just exercising for health, right? They imagine the super athlete. Oh, you have to run minimum 10 kilometers. Oh, you have to swim 2 kilometers at very fast speed or what, but that is actually not the case. They need to change their mindset. Okay, so doing sports, I think it's a necessity, because if you don't do it now, you will have to pay back when you are older, health-wise, right? So first is that they have to change the perception that it doesn't need to be very hard. You can just do an easy 10 minutes jog around your housing compound, and that is always better than nothing, right? One is always better than zero. So again, we don't have to force them to do it, but then they need to have passion into what they're doing, right? If you're forcing them, of course, they will always struggle.
They won't be consistent, yeah.
You won't be consistent, and to get good result, you need consistency. And to have consistency, you must like what you're doing. You must have the passion for what you're doing. Otherwise, you cannot sustain. You can. I've seen it so many times. Some people, they say they want to lose weight, and then they learn about this diet. There's so many diets: keto diet, vegan diet, all kinds of diet, and then they start to do it. They can do it for 1 month, 2 months, post on, I'm on this diet or what, but they cannot sustain. They cannot sustain because it's too difficult for them. For example, keto diet, no carbs. How are you gonna eat no carbs when you go out with your family members, you got your friends, you want to order food in the restaurant? It becomes too difficult. So I believe doing something more, maybe more in moderation, say we cut down the calories, right? But we're still taking carbs. So that is much more sustainable. So something, don't go to the extreme side unless you really have passion for it.
Yeah, but I do like the way that you think, because if you don't do it now, we have to pay back later in our life. Yeah, that's very true, I think, because especially with on exercising, on sports, right, it will come to our health eventually.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, I have our next question here. Okay, how do you keep track with your own progress and training plans, actually, Rupert? So do you do it all by yourself, like you do self-learning, or do you have a mentor who guides you through? Okay, how did you manage it?
All right. So before this, when I was racing more competitively, I had a coach. I had a few coaches. Every few years I change coach, right? They are like your lecturers. So the coaches, what they do is they will guide me through with the programs. They explain to me why we need to do this, why we need to do this, and being able to understand the process of training, and that helps you to motivate because you understand the reason behind it. So yes, I did have coach, but not at the moment, because now
you are the coach.
Yeah, well, being a coach, I always still engage another coach, because when you have a coach, they can help you to see things from objectively, that sometimes when you are in it, even though you are so experienced, you don't see things, and you just want to see things the way that you want to see it. But having somebody from stepping from outside and being very objective and can see your strength, your weakness, whether you're training enough or not, your nutrition, you're taking it the right nutrition or not, that really helps. So when I want to go into racing, or there's like there's a big race coming, I will engage a coach. So, but at the moment, because there's nothing much going on, so I don't engage a coach. But to keep track of training, we have watches, Garmin watch. So I'm using, you can see this smartwatch by Garmin. So as I train, what I do is I will save the training into the watch, and I will upload it into the Garmin app, and Garmin app will go into a training program, a training app called Training Peaks. So this Training Peaks can keep track of all my data from my training, and then it helps to keep track of my fitness level. And everything is very simple. I just need to log in, and I can immediately see my fitness level, my fatigue, how fit am I. It's the modern technology is so simple now. It simplifies so much on the training. After each training, I just need to save the training into my watch, and everything is auto upload in. So it's very easy.
I see. So it's actually I understand now that, because I thought you're already, the coach level, right? Okay, so you don't really need someone else to be coaching you. But I've learned something today, that even you're at the top level, okay, it's actually very good to have someone else from a different perspective to actually come and pinpoint to you some of the things that you may not be able to see.
Yes, like a mentor. And this is normal for all sports. You see, the best sports, Usain Bolt, Michael Jordan, all of them have their coaches. They have not only one coach, they have a whole team behind them. They have the physio team, they have the nutrition team, they have psychologists, they have so many, right? So some maybe have technique coach, some maybe have a race strategy coach, different coaches, and they all should work in synergy, should work together to provide the best result for the athletes. So if you see world class players, they already have coaches. What about us, right? So it makes sense.
So we've learned something from you, that is actually, for example, those who have actually graduated from university as well as, or they are working also, it's actually good that they have some peers to guide them, even their superiors, okay, or their teammates, so that you will actually know where you go wrong, okay, or maybe there are some places where you can actually have room for improvements for a better version of yourself in future.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so we all know that being an athlete, okay, especially now that you are the world rank, self-discipline and self-learning, as you mentioned earlier on, okay, being consistent are very important. And this is the most challenging part for most people. You know, many of us just have our excuses for not doing something. How do you overcome this challenge? Because we are humans, right? Okay, we want to do something. Of course, there are times where we can actually keep motivated, like you mentioned, whatever diet is 1 month, 2 months, but to keep it, I mean, how to say, to have it sustainable. Okay, so we are not just talking about doing workout or daily exercise. I would say that this is an attitude that one can plant in them to be applied in their career, okay, or studies. Okay, so if they are still schooling, so do you have maybe you can share with us from the point of view how to be, to maintain this mentality actually.
So of course, it's easy to do it initial stage, but having to do it for years and years and years, it's not easy. It's not easy to sustain. Yeah, it is hard work, especially if you want to race at a higher level. It's not easy. So first, I believe that by making it into a habit, to make it habit, to by doing it, by repeating over the years, it becomes second nature. For me personally, because I love it so much and I have done it for so many years, now I don't even have to think much about it. If I don't train for a day, it just doesn't feel right. So it's already become a habit that I have to train for a day, minimum maybe 30 minutes, right? I have to do training 30 minutes, and then if I have more time, I'll do 1 hour, 1.5 hours. So I believe that things that are really important, you have to keep repeating that, and then eventually it will be a habit for you. That's being consistent and putting in the work. Of course, like I mentioned before, it's important that you have passion for it, because where you have passion, where you like it, you will put effort and energy into it. So
can this passion be created? For example, you don't have the passion, no, but you want to like it, right? So you try to create a passion. For example, for instance, if you don't like maths, for example, you don't like maths, but you still have to do it because in school you need. So is it possible to create that passion for maths? Because we need to have passion to make us move on, right?
Right. You know, I was a terrible student during university days.
Okay.
But yeah, because first of all, yes. Again, I think that it was more like it was what was expected of me, right? Chinese family, when you go, you have to get university, and then you go to a good get a good career, and that was.
But eventually you're good. You end up being an engineer. It's very good. I mean,
Yes,
professional wise,
but
yeah.
so I on an engineering side, I was terrible. But then what I did was more on the sales engineering side, which was I like the negotiation part. I like the meeting people and traveling and talking and sitting down with other customers. So then eventually I shifted to where I like, and then I think I became pretty good at it again because I like it. But if you were to ask me to be engineer calculation formulas or designing machines, I would be horrible at it because first I didn't have passion for it, and I wasn't good at it. So again, I shifted to where I like. So I believe that yes, you have to like what you want to be good at. right? If you force it, it will feel very fake, and it's hard to be good at something that you are, you're not passionate about. I believe, yeah.
I think so. It's true. I mean, it's true because, like you say, probably you may have to do it first. Then you probably need to shift to the direction where you try to find whatever things that you like. Okay, and then from there only you can sustain further. Or else probably you will just end up 1 or 2 years. Okay, doing whatever being forced to do. All right, but I would say that since some other things, some things, right? Okay, for young people nowadays, also they have to do something which they don't really want to do. I would say a lot, probably like what you said, expectation from families, okay, from the duties or something like that. So probably is good that maybe you try that out first. Okay, if not, like for example, your case, right? If you don't do your engineering part,
Right.
You may not know how to even negotiate your sales, correct?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so you have the probably you can, those young listeners out there, probably you can do whatever you're expected of at the moment. Okay, at the same time you try to find whatever passions you, okay, whatever that interests you.
Yes, I agree. I think that for young people, the problem is that after they graduate, I don't know what examination is it called now, SPM or whatever, is that the problem is that they don't know what they like. And same for me, at 17, 18 years old, you don't know what you like. So that's why I think it's important that you dabble with more things and then you try out different things, because so you don't know what eventually you want to become in your life. You don't know what you're passionate about and what's your real potential, right? So I think especially when you're young, you should take the opportunity to dabble in a lot of things to find what you really love. And if
Yeah.
you can find what you really love, what you're really good, then I think you're very blessed and very lucky. You're able to do what you really have passion about, and that comes from experimenting on a lot of different things. Because
Even in your case, yeah, even your case was mid-20s, right? You said you started discovering this sports
yes,
thing.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
So it's even not too late for those 17 and 18 to really start to discover what they
Oh, of course
really
not. Of
yeah.
course not. I think especially in from your teenager until you are even like early 30s or late 20s, you can dabble in as many things as possible, because eventually people are gonna live with the healthcare, probably people will live until 80, 90 years old in the next generation. So if they are only 17, 18 years old, they have another 60 years to live. So they can dabble in as much as they want and waste as much as their youth as they can at that time to experiment with a lot of different things, right? Because yeah, if you are too reserved, then you just take the path that was expected of you, then I think you might end up regretting that when you are older. You always have that something like regret that I never dared to try what I was passionate about. So I think it's important that they actually do try, especially when they are in their even their 20s, late 20s. It's still okay. It's still okay.
Okay.
When you do something wrong, you won't die. But then if you are already later on, like 40 years old or whatever, and then you got your kids or what, then the risk is so much higher. You got your own house, and then if you bankrupt, then you're in trouble, right? Because
Yes.
yeah,
Commitment will be different.
commitment level is different already.
Yeah.
When you're young, you have no commitment level, so go for it.
Okay, all right. Now you are the master of Ironman, and you sure do have many students, okay, who look up to you. And I'm sure there are many obstacles along the way. Okay, how do you motivate them or keep them motivated? I mean, keep your students motivated, right? If they fail, what makes them stand up again? And would you would want to keep? I mean, how you can make them to keep on trying and okay, and move forward again?
Yeah. Okay. So on our coaching side, a majority of our athletes are actually professionals, working professional. We have doctors, lawyers, engineers training with us, and so I think one of the things is we have to have perspective, right? So like for example, most of them they already work the whole day, and then they come to us after work and they want to train. So they're not really serious on the training or racing side. It's more that they want an outlet to after work. They want to meet up with other friends. They want to train for health. So I understand that. So instead of pushing them so hard, we motivate them, give them really come there and just enjoy themselves, feeling very good about themselves after a hard days of work. So I never for the athletes that come, I just try to motivate them to train, and I always give them very positive feedback. So they feel very good about themselves, and then they will come again. And I think more important for them is the consistency of coming and training. Of course, I've seen a lot of them when they join, eventually they want to join races like Ironman, half Ironman, and some of them don't even finish, or some of them, they go in and then they have a bike crash and they can't finish. We always motivate them to come and try again. I tell them that it's a lifestyle. It's not like, oh, it's a one-off thing. It's something that you want to carry on until your older day, because it's very good for the social side, for the health side. You're meeting very positive people who come for triathlon training. Majority of them are very high ranked people, and then they are very, very positive people. That's why they are into the sport, right? It's a very challenging sport. So I always try to make them feel good. Again, we have a different group. We call them the elites, that I train them for SEA Games. Again, the mentality is very different, because these guys are training to represent the country in SEA Games, in Asia Games. Then it's not for fun, so much on the fun side anymore. They have to be very serious, committed on the training, because it's all about performance at a high level. So again, when with these elites, then how I approach them is very different compared to the age groupers who just go there for fun.
So the mindset boils down to the mindset, and how they can actually change their mindset depending on what they aim for, right? If they aim for professionalism, it will be different. And then if they come for, so you mean that they are people who come to your coaching center just for fun, like for example, just to do some exercise? Oh, it's not only that you want to become Ironman, then you have to go for RC coaching.
No. So majority of them, I'll say 90% of the athletes that come, we call them the age groupers, and a lot of them is like, even athletes age from, a lot of them are already very successful in their career, right? In their 40s, 50s, even 60s, very successful in their career, and they want to try something different in their life, right? Something more challenging, like a triathlon and an Ironman. And so they come to us. Of course, they come to us, they pay us. It's our job to help guide them, make them feel very good. We don't push them and say, oh, you can't do this, or you're useless. No. We always try, and even every small improvement, even 1% improvement, is a very big achievement for them. And slowly, then they feel good about themselves when they come for training, and that could actually transfer to other parts of their life, because they feel happier, they feel healthier. So I think that's very motivating for them, and something different from them. It is, a lot of it has to do with the social side as well. They're meeting people, like-minded people from other walks of life, and get to mix. So I think it's very good for them, and they really enjoy that.
So your center has a mixture of gender, female, male, or
yes.
I see. Because I also know that you do train kids as well, right?
Yes, I train kids as well, and that we started only this year.
I see. So around what range age the kids you will?
The youth, we train 6 to 17 years old.
Oh, 6 years old. So from 6 years old.
6 to 17 for the youth, and then our age groupers is anything between 18 to like 60 years old.
Oh, okay, good. All right, okay. I have actually requested by some cyclists to ask this question. Okay, recently, there are many more and more Malaysians starting to take up cycling. Okay, we can see them actually, a lot of them. And what tips and advice would you give them to be competent and be a good cyclist?
Yeah, so after the MCO, the first one, there was a boom in cycling, and there's been a lot of bad reputation for the cyclists, because of accidents, and they break some rules. People take photos and share it on social media.
Yes.
So first of all, I think that this incident, bad reputation, is only happening at a very small percentage level, maybe less than 5% of the cyclists. But of course, with social media, they take photo and then they share, ends up looking like all the cyclists are doing a lot of bad things. It's terrible.
You will focus on that.
Just like drinking, right? A lot of people, they drink, but the one that are drunk driving or what is probably only 1%. But because people take photo and share social media, it looks like whoever's drinking is bad. So it's, again, I don't think that's representing the actual majority of what's going on. So first of all, I think in regards to cycling, to be a better cyclist, first of all, you have to learn the etiquette of cycling. All right, there are etiquettes of cycling. For example, of course, when you ride, you don't ride like many in a row. You block the traffic. So especially you ride on a busy road, you should always ride on the, we call it single file. That means one rider at a time, so that you're not blocking the traffic. So you have to learn all this etiquette. You have to learn the safety aspect of riding, how to ride safely, how to take care of each other. So of course, number one, I think the most important one is the safety. They have to learn the safety aspect, and that helps by joining a group, maybe like RC coaching. So we guide them. The first lesson that we always teach them is regarding to safety and cycling etiquette, and how they can be more road friendly for everybody on the road. Yeah, because there's too many new riders coming and doing a lot of silly things. They don't know how to ride and end up in an accident, or worse, a few weeks ago in death. Yeah
I read that. Correct.
Yes. So
I see.
that's terrible. So they just have to learn the cycling etiquette, and once you learn the basics, then you can start to cycle on the road. But I would recommend you cycle on the road with a group first that knows what they're doing.
Yeah. So need a mentor or someone to guide them if they are still new. But do you have a place where actually they this designated place, right, for cyclists to actually cycle, so that they won't really put themselves in danger? Or any planning to do that in the near future from?
Well, I did see the government did announce something like that. I don't so far I would say that in Malaysia we don't have that kind of place yet. In Thailand they have that Skylane in the Thailand airport, where it's like 30 kilometers of only for cyclists and runners that is not open to traffic. In Malaysia, I think they have a plan, but it's not implemented yet. And so
so we do hope for the best in future. There will be this place here.
Well, in Putrajaya, they already mentioned, I saw in the papers that they say that they're going to have a cyclist lane. So now I think they chart some of the road, but it's still actually on the same road as the car and motor users. Just that there's a designated blue line beside the road, which I see. Everybody's still driving inside. So in Malaysia, it's still they don't have that. No.
Okay. So there might be hope for in future, probably there'll be this good planning, so that more and more Malaysians, they can actually be savior if we're gonna do these sports. And of course, if they want to do it safely with the right skills, can join RC coaching. They can coach you the correct methods, okay, and also be much more faster and more competent with the sports. Okay, all right. So actually, we are coming to the end of our show. I'll just show some of your photos.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Wait now. I need to share my screen. Meantime, Rupert, actually, I have the last question, where there are a lot of young listeners actually out there. Okay, in fact, they will be the future leaders. All right. So, as a coach, okay, what would be your take-home message for them?
If they were to become a coach?
No. In general, you as a coach. Okay.
Yes. Message. All right. So
take-home message.
So like I mentioned before, I do believe that you need passion to do something that you really want to pursue further, and with that only you can put the time and effort into something, and with that only then you can produce really magnificent result, because it is hard work. To be good at something, it takes many hours. So I think that is important, that you try to find something that you really love, and that comes from taking the risk of experimenting. Don't be pressured by what society or your family expects of you, and you jump into that, and then eventually when you are older, then you have a regret. So take the risk, especially when you're young. Try out different things and find what you really love. Yeah.
So the boils down to passion. Okay, we need to find out what really is our passion, so that from then on we will need to so that we can be sustainable, we can be able to continue.
Correct.
I see. Okay, good. So all the young listeners out there, so I will say that first you need to find your passion. Of course, if you're in a position where you can't really explore much on that, okay, you still have to do whatever you're expected of, maybe for 1 or 2 years more, okay, but eventually you will have the opportunity, I'm sure, okay, for you to exploit yourself, okay, especially on your passion and how you can actually bring it into, because most of the time, you know, when like Rupert, you said that it needs a lot of hard work, and most of the time is when they are already successful. Okay, someone who's really successful, okay, like Jack Ma. Okay, we only read about their successful story, but we are not there to witness how difficult their path was. Okay, before they yes.
Yeah,
So
just like Jack Ma mentioned that the first few years when he was doing Alibaba, there was no profit, right? But the
yes,
people who he created Alibaba for was coming back to him and say, Jack, what you created, and then we are able to sell so many of our products through what you created. Keep it up. And because of that, he believed he's helping others, and that was his passion, to help others, to create something of value. That's why he still continued doing that, even though he wasn't making money at the first few years. Yeah.
Yes, and he was. We also heard that he had a lot of trouble, you know, getting himself employed and a lot of things. Yeah, so probably in the end is you still need to work hard. Okay, so by the time people notice, your success will be many of.
You already put in hundreds, thousands of hours
years
of work into it already, man.
Correct.
People hear about it. Like when RC coaching started, I already been racing for so many years and training for so many years before RC coaching was created. People just they don't see how the origin of everything started. When I first started coaching, I coached one-on-one only. I only coached one-on-one, and we didn't have a pool. We had to sneak into a pool because a lot of all these private pools, they don't allow coaching, right? Because they have their own coaches. So when I started, we secretly and pretend like we're coaching friends or what, and we just coach one-on-one. We don't have a group like now where we coach 20, 30 people at one go. No.
I see. Yeah, so there are a lot of things that we don't really, you know of others people's hard work, I would say.
Yes.
Okay, understood.
They just see the success. They don't see the hard work. Yeah.
Which is very true, actually. Okay, all right. I'll just try to wait because I have some of your photos. I would like to share with the audience. Okay, I'm just hold on. I just need to get it. I just need the host to let me be a host. Okay, I'm supposed to. All right. Okay, so this will be yours. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. So this is you, yeah.
Yes, this was me.
This is when may I ask? Is it this year?
Probably last
in Thailand.
This was I think early of this year in Thailand. That's right.
Oh, okay. So this is your latest, I would say, because of the CMCO and anything like that.
Yes. After that, there's no more race after this. This was probably the last race already.
Okay. So normally the case is, right, all these you have a lot of participants all around the world, and you know, maybe they don't really heard about Malaysia in the first place. So it really brings glory to yourself as well, right? To bring a good name for Malaysian.
For me, on the course, there's a lot of my athletes. I think we like maybe last year we had like 50, 60 of our athletes from Malaysia going down. So it's always good for our Malaysian to see a lot of our athletes racing there. So I really enjoy racing my athlete. And again, it's not so much now that my how I see things, my priority has changed, and I'm more passionate towards seeing my athlete's success in triathlon race rather than myself. So even when I'm racing on the course, actually I'm still coaching them. When I see them on the course, I'm still coaching them.
Oh, you mean you still give them pinpoints that you should do this, you should do that?
Yes. Even nutrition or whatever, I still pinpoint to them. I still tell them what to do. Because very
even during a race.
During the race, yes. Because you see your athletes all over the place when we are racing. It's on the same course.
And then you feel very proud, right? Because those are your students. And
yes. I feel very proud. And then especially for first timers, when they finish, it's really a different experience for them.
Okay. So, okay, of course, apart from being Ironman, also the mentality, the mindset, everything. So I guess it's very important. Okay, not only in terms of sports, but as you said, in anything that we are passionate about.
Yes,
correct?
anything
Okay.
you're passionate about.
Yeah. So, okay, I think that actually wraps up our talk today. Okay, so with the current pandemic, right, COVID-19 has actually changed many of our lives, and either to be better or the opposite. Okay, so we have to adapt to survive, and if you manage to do so and go through this, all right, we can be stronger. So I hope, and we hope, that through Rupert's sharing session today, okay, all of us can create a better version of ourselves in the coming 2021. All right, so Happy New Year in advance. All right, so once again, thank you very much, Rupert. Yeah, thank you very much. And to everyone else, please don't forget to share this video. All right, thank you very much. And I hope you guys can find your passion very, very soon. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.